Welcome, in front of me is a Samsung Galaxy Tab A9 Plus, and today I will show you a couple tweaks and tricks you can do on this tablet. Now, to get started, we can open up our settings, where we can begin by navigating under the display section. Here we have a couple different things that I will showcase. Number one, we have the light and the dark mode, which obviously that's kind of self-explanatory. So let's move over to the actual settings behind it, which we have the dark mode settings. Now here we have the option to set it up on a schedule, which I have already done so, though it's not really working correctly. Unless it's supposed to be 12 p.m. instead of 12 a.m. as it's right now. In any case, so right here, you'll be able to select two different modes. So you have the sunset to sunrise or on a custom timer, which will then make the device swap between these two modes, light and dark, based on a time of day or obviously your predefined timer. Now moving on to the next option, it's going to be motion smoothness. This just simply allows you to choose between two different smoothness. The higher one is the 90, which is also enabled by default. So this means that you will have 90 frames per second displayed on your screen. So for instance, scrolling up and down will feel a little bit smoother compared to the 60. 60 just might feel a little bit more choppy. And here's a good comparison between these two animations. Now, that being said, standard, meaning the 60 below 1, will be better for battery life. So if you want to basically optimize your device for longer longevity of your battery life, so you don't have to charge it as often, you might be interested in selecting the standard. Now keep in mind this will only affect the screen on time and not the actual like standby time, so just wanted to point that out. Okay, moving on to the another option, it's going to be the Edge Panel and also Taskbar and Navigation Bar. They're all clumped up together, so I'm just gonna also clump them up together. Now out of those at least the taskbar and edge panel, if you are the type of person to use custom launcher, then I highly recommend just completely getting rid of the taskbar. Or, well, you actually don't need to get rid of it, Samsung will do it for you. While the edge panel will actually function without much of a problem, no matter what kind of custom launcher you're using. Something that taskbar isn't gonna do because Samsung decided to make this feature be locked to just their launcher. And the reason I'm pointing that out is because it's just a scammy move. It was introduced with the Fold devices, but it's a Android feature for bigger screens that Samsung decided to change and gimped, basically showing you a middle finger, or me in this case, because I am a third-party launcher user, so this becomes inaccessible to me for some stupid reason. And there was a workaround at one point to it, but you know, Samsung was giving you the kind of notification that this feature isn't working properly with other launchers. And even though you could enable it and kind of, you know, it worked buggily, it was working in some capacity. But Samsung decided instead of fixing the problem to just completely remove it, because that's just Samsung way. So I recommend using that over the taskbar if you, like I said, use third-party launchers. Now, going into this taskbar, we do have, or at least I have it already loaded up with a bunch of applications, but obviously you can tap right here to edit the applications that are visible in it, and you can subtract at them, which is pretty nice. Now going back, if we tap on the Edge Panel text itself, it will give us settings for the Edge Panel. So we can, for instance, add new panels, because it doesn't just show you applications, it has additional purposes as well. So these are the ones that come with the device, but if you're logged into a Samsung account, you can actually go into Galaxy Store and download more of these. So some of them might cost you some like 99 cents or something like that. Some of them will be free, but obviously if you find one that you really like, I guess 99 cents isn't that much. It's just kind of a shame that it still costs money. And you can also customize how it looks like. So the bar right here, it's barely visible. You can change the color, make it less transparent, more transparent, whatever you want. So that would be, I believe, in here. Yep. So we can customize it in here. Now, let's move on to the next one, which is the navigation bar. So this allows you to choose between the two different navigation methods, either button or gestures. Now I am using gestures and I believe this is enabled by default, but there's also additional options for gestures with this option right here, gesture hints. By default this will be enabled, meaning you'll have this little bar right here, and also your icons will probably look, well, not probably, but will look smaller compared to what mine looked like just a moment ago. Now when you disable this, it just hides this bar. What I believe it actually does is shifts it a little bit out of the screen, so it poses some problems, which I have experienced on my end and even here. So sometimes swiping up won't be registered by the device for some stupid reason. It's unexplained why, and it hasn't been fixed for over a year, so go figure, Samsung. So if you experience this kind of problems where you swipe up and it just doesn't register it, just know that this is the gesture hints being disabled and just working like shit. And there is really nothing that I know that would fix it, apart from obviously turning it back on, which defeats the purpose of this setting. Now, if you're the type of person to just want to have a clean look and you want to disable it and just persevere through the bugginess of this, then by all means go right ahead. I am showing you that this is here, and maybe, just maybe, crazy idea, Samsung will at one point fix it, though I wouldn't hold my breath because that's been over a year since this has been working like shit like this. So, like I said, don't hold it, or don't hope that it might be fixed. I highly doubt it actually will. Anyway, moving on to the next option, it's going to be where is it? I think it was called Adapt Sound. So let's navigate to sounds. In here we're gonna navigate to sound quality and effects, and then never mind, it's not visible here. Wow, okay, so never mind. I guess I'm not going to show this because apparently Samsung decided to remove it from a tablet. Apparently no one uses music on their tablets. Surprising. Now this isn't the only thing that they removed. Another thing that you won't be able to get back here is power button, but actually it functions as a power button. Now I'm kind of crapping on this because it's obviously functioning as a power button, which isn't the case for most of the Samsung devices. And furthermore, if you go into the settings, it actually is labeled as a side button, not a power button. Just doesn't give you the options for it. Anyway, so the couple things that I want to show as the last options don't actually exist anymore, at least on this device, so I guess I'm just gonna finish it up here. So anyway, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.